Welcome to the MSP Corner podcast. Before we kick off our show, we would like to share what our main objective is at the MSP Corner. Our main goal is to help CEOs build profitable and self-sustainable IT service firms. We are not just providing tools for IT firms, we will be sitting in meetings with you to ensure your IT firm stays on track. The first area we are focused on, strategic sales. IT firms are stuck selling technology or IT support. We will provide you with the blueprint so you position your firm as an added value to your prospects. We will have framework on how to sell value so you influence the prospect into selecting your firm. The second area we see many IT firms struggle in is marketing. 90+% of businesses rely on antiquated marketing methods. The most popular choice, word of mouth. We have proven methods on how to attract the ideal prospect. Our framework will include how to become the online authority and be the business influencer for an industry. The third component to our package, scaling. IT firms walk away from opportunities because they lack the bandwidth or skill set to scale. We have lined up reputable businesses so our members can hire on-demand resources that will allow them to scale their business. The fourth area we will offer help in, selecting the right tools. In order to deliver value, you need the right tech stack. Our platform will offer information on products that are the ideal choice for MSPs. The fifth area we will offer help in is with documentation. Templates are a critical component when building an MSP. We will have contracts, proposals, SOWs, collateral, and much more in the template section. You will have every document you need to start up your managed IT service business. Thank you for tuning in. Let's go to our next podcast.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning into the MSP Corner podcast. I am your host, Fernando Leal. And I'm joined by my co-host, Gregory Moravietz. And today's topic is from PDF to presentation, why proposal delivery makes or breaks the MSP sale. All right. And this is, well, before we get started, let's quickly go over the agenda. Topics on the list are, like always, we have an introduction, proposals, the psychology of proposal delivery, walking through the report of findings, proposal structure that closes, the closing conversation, lessons learned, and advice for MSPs, about the MSP Corner, and then I'll close it out. All right, so today on the MSP Corner, well, you guys know Gregory's here. He's a seasoned MSP CEO, and we're going to unpack one of the biggest deal killers in our industry, emailing proposals. And yours truly has been guilty of that too, so you're not alone. But we're going to share some real lessons, missed opportunities, and what actually works when it's time to present and close. All right, so Greg, let's discuss the common habit of emailing proposals and why it fails. It's just not a great idea. I personally have stopped emailing proposals a while back, but this is, and let me emphasize, is a big no-no. How do you feel about it? Do you get a lot of proposals emailed to you, or you don't really send out proposals? You put all that burden on me, but do you get proposals emailed to you when you're outsourcing a project, or you're looking for a specific solution?
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. I get proposals emailed to me all the time.
Now, how do you feel about that? Let's say you've got 3 proposals, and what is the first page you go look at?
The price.
Exactly right. You don't even read about what the company has to offer or anything, right? You just go straight to the price because you already know that. Do you think that all 3 essentially offered the same thing and you're just looking for the lowest price?
Well, I'd be surprised that if after a couple of meetings we had together, they didn't get what I wanted. So
Mm,
if it was missing, I've seen proposals that have been sneaky and have left out things.
really?
But yeah, but I'm pretty savvy now.
Yeah.
I'm not as dumb as I used to be. I used to
Well,
be naive and not read the whole thing.
yeah, yeah. I specifically look at all the deliverables in detail, and if there's any gaps, then I'll bring it up. But it's not a good idea to email it because it doesn't help you stand out, doesn't help you reestablish rapport and the challenges the one is having. But I'm getting ahead of myself. But I'll share real quickly. I used to do this. I had to learn the hard way. We stopped this a while back, but you know, I've read some books on the best approach when it comes to this. And there's going to be something else that you're going to be really shocked that I didn't really buy into in the beginning, but then I read a book called Influence, and I'll talk about that later on in the podcast. But reciprocal, we'll touch on reciprocation later on in this podcast. All right, so let's jump over to the psychology of proposal delivery, right? Because you want to take back control and how you want to deliver influence and trust. And what I mean by that is, in order to build rapport, credibility, it's going to lead to eventually trust. And you'll get that in this last meeting if you approach it in the right way. Because in the meeting with a prospect, you got to remind them of their challenges, their pain points, the reason you're meeting with them. Because if they're looking at a proposal and you're not in the room with them, you can't remind them that, hey, you contacted me, or we started this conversation because you were unhappy because your tech support team doesn't get back to you within, a reasonable time. You had a phishing attack. You had a security breach, right? So reminding them of pain points and the consequences of of those challenges or pain points will be detrimental to their business, right? It'll kill production. They'll lose money. So you got to remind them, and that's the whole thing about psychology is people tend to forget or connect the dots of what you're there to do. And that's why you're there to remind them that, hey, we're meeting because you need a HIPAA compliant expert. We are HIPAA compliance experts. Your MSP is letting you down. They don't even give you reports at the end of the month. You don't even know if you're compliant, right? So you've got to play that. You've got to position yourself as that authority and reminding them of why you're meeting their challenges. Because the proposal doesn't do that. A proposal, and Gregory just admitted it. He does the same thing I do. Like I'm sure 90% of everybody out there, they will go straight to the price. They won't care that you were the one are the HIPAA compliant expert or the security expert. They don't get reminded of that if they're just looking at your proposal. Now, Greg, do other salespeople you engage with revisit your challenges or pain points? Like, right when they're just emailing you a proposal, but have you had one held back and said, "Hey, Greg, I'd love to go over this proposal with you," or would you say every single salesperson has had the same approach of just emailing it to you?
No, for the most part, people want to go over it with me in person. They don't want me to email it to them. But sometimes I insist.
And what do
I
you do
say,
when do they send it when you insist?
yeah, they send it.
Now, okay, so this is something to all the MSPs. If you want to get ghosted, if you want to just be another IT service firm that doesn't stand out, email it. Or you can say, if they insist, like Gregory, I would just say, hey, it's company policy that we meet with you. even if it's a Zoom call. Are you okay with Zoom calls, Greg? 10
Yeah,
minutes.
absolutely.
Call.
Zoom calls are fine.
Yeah, Zoom call is perfectly fine because you can still control the narrative. You're still face to face. You want to be face to face with these people. Remember, you got to put a name to the face. There's a reason for that. You want to be the face of your organization, the face that solves security challenges, solves their pain points, your face. So remember that. Now, what do they do to emotionally reconnect to that problem? Do you see that from a lot of salespeople, Greg? Because I know you meet with a lot of salespeople. Do you see that a lot?
No, not really.
No, they just are like, oh, let's go over this information.
Yep. Let's
Blah,
just
blah,
go over the
blah, blah, blah.
information. I like to cut to the chase. I don't like to hear the jibber jabber bully that I hear all the time. I hear all this bully jibby jabber,
Yeah,
and I'm not into
right.
it.
That's great. That's okay. That's okay. You could still get to the, hey, Greg, the first slide is just our talking points, right? Real quickly, 30 seconds. We're meeting because you had a security breach. Your network is slow. Your techs or your team can't get support after hours. Do we need to add to that list? Do we need to take anything off? Is that good? Right? 30 seconds. You cool with that?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Good. Okay, because the next slide is going to tell you how we're going to solve all those problems. Right? We're 24/7. We have security experts to ensure you stay secure and compliant. And the next page illustrates the costs because it's a fixed cost. And we're in this plan. We have two plans. And which plan do you think you show first, Greg? The more expensive plan or the least expensive plan?
I show the least expensive plan first.
No, you show the more expensive plan. It gives them this idea of like, oh my goodness, I can't afford this. And then you show them the next plan where they're like, oh, wow, I almost get everything I want. There's just a couple things left off. And yeah, this looks much more reasonable, right? Because if you give them the first plan and then you show them the second plan, they're going to be, you're going to give them sticker shock. So I would suggest doing the sticker shock first.
Not
No?
me. No.
Not you. Interesting. Okay. Well, the books say that.
Well, I'm not good with the book. The book and I don't get along.
No. You read a lot of books. Don't lie.
I know, and I don't agree with anything they say.
You're funny. You're funny that way. Okay, so check this out. So let's talk about reciprocal. So reciprocation. And I wasn't really a big. I was a little. I was finding a little cheesy in the beginning, but there's something very interesting. I mean, there's just studies. There's just dozens and dozens of studies of people doing these studies on reciprocation. So what they did was this guy named Regan, he did a study of somebody. They had 20 people come in, and they were, and his helper, who was in on this study, would walk around with other people, but with the person that was part of the study unknowingly. They didn't know they were in a study, and they were just doing casually. They were doing a survey of artwork in one of these art studios. So they were walking around and they were talking, and they were just talking about the artwork, and they were saying, okay, here's my review of this one, et cetera, et cetera. And 20 of the people that were part of the survey, he asked them at the end of each review if they would buy raffle tickets, and a very small percentage bought raffle tickets. I think it was like 20% or something. The next study, they showed with they got another set of 20 people. That same person, the assistant, bought every single one of those people a Coke. He just said, "Hey, I'm going to go get a Coke." And the people would just continue reviewing the art, just looking around, looking at the art. He'd come back and he'd give them a Coke, right? And they were walking around drinking their Coke and talking about the art, et cetera, et cetera. And at the end of the reviews, or at the end of they were finished, he would ask them if they would buy some raffle tickets. Over 90% bought raffle tickets because they 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 felt obligated. It's like, it's like I don't like to ever feel like I owe somebody something, right? Somebody did something for me. So I feel like, oh, right, yeah, I'll do something for you. So over 90% of them bought raffle tickets. A huge jump from not giving them something, right? There was never a, hey, I'm going to get you something, you do something for me. It was never like that type of arrangement. It was like, hey,
It's
here's a
human
Coke.
nature. It's also the
It's
Hare Krishnas did the same thing at the airport. They would
yes,
give people a flower, and
yeah,
people would feel obligated to give them something money.
yes. It's interesting, and most of the time, people will 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 reciprocate much more, right? Like, let's say you give me a $5 gift card on my birthday. On your birthday, I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna go get Gregory a $20 gift card. I mean, it's usually like something much, much more than what you originally gave them. It's like I don't know what it is that goes on in the human brain, but we feel like this obligation is like this powerful obligation that, hey, we're going to return the favor. Like, we don't want to be considered moochers or somebody who is just a taker, right? I think it's just human nature that most of us feel that way. What do you think about that?
I agree.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot of great studies in this book that I'm reading called The Influence. It's just amazing. There's some really cool stuff in there. Now, let's go through walking through the report of findings. Do you feel it's critical to bring up issues without fear mongering? Because
Absolutely. I see right through that.
I know, me too. It's like I'm on high alert with the fear mongering. I mean, that is with everything in life. I'm always like that. But yeah, I think it's important not to fear monger. Just to, I think it's your job, and whoever CEOs who are listening to this podcast, you're there to provide information. Here's Mr. CEO. We found that your EDR licenses, your endpoints, are not protected. Here's what's here is the result of what could happen. You could have some downtime because somebody might download ransomware. So it's critical that you get EDR in place. And later on in the proposal, we'll show you how much that costs. But you've been part of many security and network assessments. Is it critical to tie findings to real world consequences? Do you feel that? Do you feel that's?
I don't do it, but some others, you may say it's relevant, but I don't do it.
You don't do it.
I let people use their own imagination, which is probably much worse than anything I could ever say.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in your boat and agree with you because we're dealing with very intelligent people. I think they can come to their own conclusion of, oh shoot, if we have downtime, I'm gonna lose this amount of money, right?
Yes, yeah.
And how do you balance being direct with not overwhelming the client? How do you balance that?
Just be honest with them and tell them the truth. Don't hold
Yeah,
anything back.
yeah, yeah. Do you point out the good things their IT department did, or IT or MSP did?
Sure.
That's a good thing. I would agree with you. I would say, hey, they did a good job here, right? Because you're not completely trashing them.
No, I don't
So
trash anyone.
yeah,
There's
never.
no benefit from trashing anyone.
Well, in a way, you're when you point out that the MSP doesn't forgot to update their EDR licenses is a subtle way of trashing them. But you're just providing information. You're saying, hey, your licenses are expired. You got to renew that ASAP. All right, let's talk about proposal structure that closes. So you were the first one to tell me always offer two options, which by the way plays a big part in closing opportunities. And like I was saying, I've read in books where it discusses the same topic. Do not offer more than two. You overwhelm people when you offer more than two. But I will add a but, because they do say offer a third option that is going to salvage the relationship, right? They're like, oh, we want somebody here full time. Okay, here's a senior level guy, and he's going to cost you this much. Oh gosh, that's too expensive. Oh well, we have a junior level guy who's less skilled, but will do a lot of the work. And if we need to bring a senior guy in, he'll escalate it to them. Oh, okay, yeah, it'll reduce the cost. Oh gosh, I can't afford a 40-hour junior guy either. All right, how about he's here twice a week, Mondays and Fridays, right? Mondays, because there's always issues on Mondays, and Fridays, there's probably a certain amount of tickets that have built up during the week, and hey, he can get them done on Friday. How do you feel about that? Right? How do you feel about that, Greg?
Yeah, that's perfect. I love options. I like being flexible. Being flexible is the best. Being obstinate and not allowing for any kind of change of this contract is harmful to you.
Yeah. No,
I totally agree.
Yeah, because when you offer that bare bones option, that third option, you preserve the opportunity and allows you to work on land and expand, right? You're in. You've kicked the door in. You're in. You're in the account. It's going to give you more opportunities if you, just like Greg said, be flexible. Don't be so rigid. Now, here's something really important. Would you caution other MSPs from letting clients cherry pick services like a menu?
No, I
Right?
wouldn't.
That's dangerous. That's dangerous.
It is dangerous, but I wouldn't stop anyone from doing it.
Yeah, no, I know. It's I think there's some hard to knows. Like, okay, we'll take EDR, but we're gonna roll the dice with backup. I'd say no, you need backup. Let's get cold storage or something. Even though it'll take longer to restore, you at least have something that will get you back up. So, you're dealing with salespeople all the time. Do they also give you two options, or do you feel a lot of
No, usually nowadays they give me one.
really?
Yep.
Hmm.
One and done. They don't give me two options.
Interesting. That is really interesting. Yeah, that's just, it's unfortunate. People are need to learn that flexible feature. All right, so let's talk about the closing conversation real quick, because we're getting ready to wrap up here. But let's quickly go over the confidence factor and how it works into the close and how winging it hurts. And what I mean by confidence is you need to go in there with the ability to not only sound credible, but you've practiced the pitch, right? You practiced the re-engaging why they're meeting, why you're meeting, why you were asked to come in and do a security assessment or a network assessment. You have to practice that, because it shows that you're confident. It shows that you're knowledgeable, you're credible. Yes, Mr. CEO, we've discovered that you don't have backups in place. If you had a ransomware attack today and we had to rebuild your infrastructure, it would take 2 to 3 weeks. If we implement a strategy, a backup strategy that we have done for many organizations in your industry. We could have you back up within a day, minimizing, any disruption, at least minimizing that disruption. So you've got to be confident, because clients, they know, they can sense if somebody is doubtful, if they're hesitant. So always go in being confident. Would you agree, Greg?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Confidence is key in any situation.
And especially when you got a client that says, we need to think about it, right? You've got to be able to say with confidence, well, what is there to think about? Why do you need to think about this? Well, my MSP, I think it's going to be a hostile takeover. We do hostile takeovers all the time. Well, I don't want to hurt their feelings. Okay. Well, what would you prefer to hurt? Your business or their feelings? Right? You've got to have the confidence to come back with objections. And that's something else you got to, a lot of IT people need to work on, is they're gonna get rejected. They're gonna face objections. What are you gonna say? What are you gonna say if somebody says, well, you're too expensive? So you're gonna have to come up with something that allows them to, or you need to say something like, okay, what can we take out so we can fit within your budget? Or how can we trim this to meet your specific requirements, but not sacrifice quality, because we're really close to meeting your requirements. You have specific technology in here. We're the experts. We know what you need. What can we trim down to meet your budgetary constraints? So just always be ready, because you gotta say it with confidence. There can't be any hesitation. You can't walk out of there with at least fighting for it. You have to fight for it. No one's just gonna hand you the keys to the kingdom. You've got to earn it. So Greg, let me ask you this: are the salespeople you're working with, are they pretty pushy?
No, they're not pushy at all.
I've sensed that from salespeople that I deal with also too. Right now, I'm in the market for home insurance, and I've collected several. I think I've got three quotes, and they've been really professional about their approach. I'll get one call here, maybe once a week, and when I finally told the other two that they didn't win, they were very professional. They're like, okay, no worries, great, no worries, you good luck, great,
Good luck. Yeah,
we
that's what they
move on.
say.
Yeah, that's what I say. I'm like, good luck. But
Yeah.
yeah. I think salespeople are starting to get it that it's not good to be pushy. It's not good.
No.
All right. So my final question to you, Greg, is this: what's the number one piece of advice you'd give to a new CEO, a new MSP CEO, when it comes to proposal meetings? Any last second advice here?
I mean, I wouldn't be pushy, but I also wouldn't like forget about it. I would not, you know what I mean? I wouldn't not follow up. I would definitely follow up, but I wouldn't be like, what happened to Gregory? Where'd he go? He just disappeared, right? I wouldn't be that way, but I would definitely be like, hey, what's going on? Can we talk about this? If you want to meet with and have a meeting about the proposal, that's fine. That's cool. I'm all right with it, but don't not call me back. Just
Yeah.
send me the proposal and then go away. I mean,
Yeah.
Dang.
Oh,
I've seen that a lot. But yeah, that's what I would say. Just be helpful, be friendly, but don't go like completely AWOL.
yeah. Here's
So
my approach. Here's my approach. After meeting with them, and they're like, okay, hey, we have a couple more meetings. Great, good luck. I'll circle back in a few days, or a few days after you've met with your last MSP. So I create my reminder. This is my MO. This is what I do. I then email them. Hey, are you close to a decision? No, no response. I'll send another email 3 or 4 days later, and I ask, did you give up on us? Did you quit? And I would say that over 50% of them get back to me, because nobody likes to be called a quitter, right? Nobody likes to say, oh, I gave up on you, or I gave up, right? They will feel like, okay, I got to let this guy know that I'm not a quitter. So over 50% will get back to me. Now, for the ones that don't get back to me, I then call them and leave them a message if they don't answer. Because, email, I already know these guys get alerts, they get emails from all their clients, they get notifications. Their email can get a bit crowded. So I think a phone call is not a bad idea on the third follow up. Now, if they don't pick up, it goes to voicemail. I send one more email, and my last email will be this: hey Tom, I haven't heard back from you. I'm going to assume that you gave up on us and you have moved on with another IT service provider. I will follow up with you in 6 months to check in and confirm you're satisfied. Good luck. Have a great weekend, or have a great day, or whatever. End it with a positive note. And I make my note, and I religiously call them 6 months later, or email, or call. Doesn't matter. You could do one or the other. That's my advice to CEOs who are starting their MSPs. The follow up is critical. Get that no, get that yes, but get something. And if they're not getting back to you, at least try. Try to get an answer. There's no giving up here. All right. Let's get to the MSP corner and what Gregory and I are doing. And you got a little taste of what we're doing. We're on a mission to delivering valuable content to our members, to the MSP world, the MSP industry. We're not your typical. I don't even know what kind of company would you call us, Greg? We're competing with groups that are what they claim to help MSPs get to that next level. I
yeah,
guess
I don't know
we're
what
that
that
type.
is. What that industry is.
Coaches, mentors, whatever.
Yeah.
They all say the same thing. We used to be founders of MSPs. What, you couldn't hack it? You had to quit? Oh, you want to give people advice on something you no longer do? Which is, yeah, it's great experience. But Gregory and I, we're in the middle of it. We're in the mix every day. We're founders of MSP, so we know the struggles. We've been doing this for almost 30 years, and we know what you guys go through. So then that's the reason we developed this platform. We're developing a packet that will include everything you guys need for sales process, building your ideal client profile, cold calling scripts, and we want to offer all these frameworks that are going to help you solve marketing and those selling challenges. So, plus, we're also lining up resources to help you with, outbound campaigns, SEO, PPC. And if you have a challenge scaling, we'll have a white label partner for you guys. So you don't have to look and vet other white label partners. All right, my closing statement is this. The proposal delivery isn't a formality. It's really a performance. You're going to be setting the tone to confidently closing the deal, right? Every step matters in this last step here. And if today's episode helped you rethink your own process, follow the MSP Corner. Stay sharp with strategies that actually win business. Thanks again for listening. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening, and don't forget to sign up to be a member on www.mspcorner.com. Please share our link with a CEO who will find our information beneficial to their business. Have an awesome day.